Central Bank orders banks to sell excess dollars as BDC operators close businesses in Abuja. Bandits abduct residents in Abuja as security concerns linger. Many fear dead in Imo tanker explosion. On the international scene, South Africa accuses Israel of ignoring court ruling to prevent death in Gaza. Hello again and welcome to the Trust TV News Update. I'm Aisha Salihu. In a fresh effort to stabilize the nation's volatile exchange rate, the Central Bank of Nigeria has directed deposit money banks to sell their excess dollar stocks by February 1, 2024. The CBN disclosed this in a new circular released on Wednesday, emphasizing that lenders should refrain from hoarding excess foreign currencies for profit. Officials at the Central Bank expresses concern that some commercial banks are maintaining long-term foreign exchange positions to capitalize on the volatile movements of exchange rates. The newly issued circular introduces a set of guidelines aimed at mitigating the risks associated with such practices. Titled Harmonization of Reporting Requirements on Foreign Currency Exposures of Banks, the circular highlights the CBN's unease over the growing trend of banks holding substantial foreign currency positions. This development follows closely on the heels of a warning issued by CBN just 48 hours prior, cautioning banks and FX dealers against reporting false exchange rates and other related malpractices. And now to security matters. Bandits have conducted an audacious attack in Pambara Extension, located in the Buhari Area Council of Abuja, abducting a director in the Federal Housing Authority. The incident occurred around 12:30 a.m. and the assailants, who fired indiscriminately, created panic in the area before escaping through the bushes with the abducted director. Residents, including military personnel, both serving and retired, and civilians, confirmed the attack. The targeted area, Pambara Extension, is approximately 200 meters from a military base, commonly known as camp. The military personnel stationed at the base were unable to prevent the bandits from carrying out the abduction. In a similar development, bandits in Kuduru are demanding a 290 million naira ransom and essential supplies, including food items, drugs, bed sheets, and cardigans, to release 7 hostages, including a pregnant woman and 3 children. The community leader, seeking anonymity, urgently appeals to the Inspector General of Police and the Chief of Army Staff for swift intervention as the hostages face deteriorating conditions after over a month in captivity. At least 15 dead bodies have been recovered on Thursday morning after an attack by armed invaders in Ubojo community in Agatu local government area of Benue State. Locals said many people are still missing after the invasion of the rural village on Wednesday evening by the armed invaders who had continued attacks on the area since 2 weeks ago. A villager said they are helpless over the situation. Prince Inalego Adagole Simon, who hails from the affected village, said the attackers besieged them around 3 p.m. on Wednesday. Meanwhile, the member representing Agati constituency in the State House of Assembly, Godwin Edo, also decried the fresh killings, which he said he had forwarded gory photos of dead bodies recovered to the governor and his deputy. Spokesperson of the police in Benue State, Catherine Anene, said she was yet to receive information about the incident from the divisional police officer in Agatu. The need for the federal government to deploy more effective strategies to contain the attacks by criminal elements on innocent Nigerians across the country has again been stressed. A security expert, Major Bashir Gauma, retired, who stated in an interview with Trust TV, cited lack of coordination among security agencies as one of the factors responsible for the lingering insecurity in Nigeria.
Insurgency, banditry, and kidnapping have ravaged many communities in the north and other parts of Nigeria as whole. Although the country has been battling with these challenges for over a decade now, the recent renewed attacks by criminals in the country, including Abuja, has raised concerns about the nation's ability to fight insecurity in the country.
The tempo has gone up, the rate has gone up because much serious attention that we have been calling that it should be paid to it. It did not seem to be coming until when this very matter was recently, or not just some few days ago or few weeks ago, it has been seen to be inching towards the seat of power.
Galma says only coordinated engagement by the security agencies can improve security in the country.
You can't just sit down in a place to keep on waiting until when you hear that there is an attack in a place. Before you reach the place, the attack has gone. Why won't you become the attacking force yourself? We have been calling about that.
He also believes that the conditioning of Nigeria's border is causing more havoc than good.
So where are the sources of this ammunition? Are we going to sit down and keep on lamenting that they are being brought from outside the country? No. To stop the ones you are thinking that are coming in is to increase our border surveillance and intelligence collection.
According to Galma, equipping security personnel and ensuring better coordination among the service chiefs will help curb insecurity in Nigeria. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
And now to a sad development in Imo State, where many are feared to have lost their lives in a tragic incident in Imo State, where a tanker suspected to be used by oil bunkers exploded in the forest of Obiti or Haji Gemba local government area of the state. The incident, which occurred at Ndorama pipeline within the Obiti Rabbi estate, resulted in many people being burned beyond recognition. According to an eyewitness in a viral social media video, vandals attempted to vandalize the pipeline's right-of-way. The suspect driving a tanker, believed to be involved in illegal bunkering, dug deep into the ground, located the pipeline, and tapped and emptied oil into the parked tanker inside the bush. Confirming the incident, Imo State Police Public Relations Officer Henry Okoye announced that the command had initiated an investigation to uncover the immediate cause of the incident and apprehend those involved. Earlier, we had Ajibade Praise, who joined us, and he gave us an update.
But then a lot of persons escaped the scene with a lot of injuries. They are taking treatment in various hospitals across the state. It's actually a sad situation, very sad situation. It is indeed. Imo is mourning, especially that community where it happened. You know, Haji Gbema, they are mourning as well. You know, this incident keeps reoccurring almost every year. We had similar case last year where we lost about 105 persons in a similar situation where people go into illegal mining of oil. You know, they go vandalizing pipelines and trying to scoop the petroleum products to sell so they could get some money for themselves. And while doing some of these things, sometimes mistakes happen, and the whole place gets engulfed in fire, and people die a lot. Similar thing is what played out this time around. At some point they were there, parked the tanker, and they were able to pass the hose down to the pipeline that they've already vandalized, and trying to pass the product from there to the tank they packed. But then an argument ensued between the two, a kind of two rivalry group. This one want to take, hold of the site. Another want to say, no, this is my territory. At some point, there was a gunshot. And this gunshot was actually what triggered the fire. And the rest is bitter stories. The economy is biting hard on everyone, and people are becoming so desperate this time around to make money at all costs. People are going into doing so many things and changing their lives, but then it's still not, enough to say you want to give up, you want to die in a miserable way just because you want to make money. That shouldn't be the way to go. But you see Imo youths, especially those of the oil producing community, these are the kind of activities they engage in. Government with time, time after time have tried to educate, sensitize, and as well, bring in security personnel to curtail this menace. But you see it happening again and again. It's a sad one, but that is the reality as we speak now in Imo State.
Ajibade praised there with an update on the tanker explosion that rocked part of Imo State. Now, away from that, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has announced that compensation is underway for buildings affected by the construction of railway projects in the city. The minister disclosed this revelation during an on-site inspection of the ongoing railway projects in the territory. Habibat Ajayi has more.
Wike personally visited the railway station sites in Wupa and Basanjiwa, both managed by Sir Lily and CCECC. He expressed confidence that the projects currently under their supervision will be ready for commissioning by May 2024.
Yes, we wouldn't have gone to demolish if the compensation had not been paid. Evaluation was made and then money was provided. And that's why you see the company is a demolition. Residents wouldn't have allowed you to come and demolish their houses if they have not been compensated.
The minister highlights his commitment to addressing the impact of construction on local community and reducing congested areas in the city.
We've battled the issue of insecurity head on. We are not saying that we've come to where we wanted first. Everything has been done. It is their own internal arrangement. If you say security, it means that nobody moves in the night in Abuja, which is not true. So you should be able to tell Nigerians that Abuja is the safest place anybody can stay as far as this country is concerned. If people are walking in the night, it means that the place is secured.
The inspection is also to ensure the railway projects are delivered according to the specification and in line with agreed timelines. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
You're watching the news update on Trust Television. Still ahead. Public sector worker expressed joy over unpaid upward review of minimum wage. Details of this story after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you most kindly for staying. But if you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Here is a look at a recap of some of our top stories. Central Bank orders banks to sell excess dollars as BDC operators close businesses in Abuja. Bandits abduct residents in Abuja as security concerns linger. Moving on to more news stories. Women in Jos South local government area of Plateau State have seized and destroyed harmful alcoholic drinks and related substances from shops across communities in the area. The exercise, which took place mostly in Gel district of Jos South local government area, witnessed a large turnout of the women in their hundreds. Women who went from shops and joints, they now sell those products and seize them for onward destruction. The women said the drinks are turning their men into irresponsible people. The women who divided themselves into groups for effective coverage of communities were supported by young girls, children, vigilantes, and other volunteers. After 5 years of signing 30,000 naira as the minimum wage for Nigerian workers, civil servants are happy that the government is considering an increment in the minimum wage. Most public and private sector workers believe that the increment would ease the current hardship they're experiencing in the face of threats by employers to cut down their staff strength in order to sustain their businesses. Trustee Vice Hassan Lawan Kohli reports.
Public servants across the country have welcomed the news of the constitution of a committee to review the minimum wage in the country. Al-Amin Halilu, a local government worker, says the current minimum wage of 30,000 naira is not enough to cater himself alone, let alone his family.
Ni a tunanina wannan lokaci ya kamata a ce an aiwatar da wannan abu kuma kare.
I am happy that the government want to review the minimum wage. We are in critical economic condition, and to serve our current needs, the minimum wage must be at least 150,000 naira, because our current salary cannot even sustain us for a week.
Yau an waye gari ma'aikaci ba iya salarinsa ba iya rike shi koda na tsawon mako guda ne.
Although Abdul Mumin Abubakar, another worker, is eagerly awaiting a salary increase, he is however worried that the development could trigger an increase in commodities, especially for food items.
The issue of minimum wage is a very critical issue in this country because we have seen the way things are increasing in the market. Especially when it's come to food. If you want to buy something in the market, you go to market, you want to buy something today 5,000, tomorrow it's going to be 6,000. So I want to use this medium to appeal to the committee to look into the issue of the way things are increasing. The federal government should establish a committee for monitoring, the way people are selling their goods. If you can just wake up in the morning, you just decided to sell your things without making, what is going on in the country, it will not going to help the citizens in the country.
Some business owners in Gombe view the planned minimum wage increment as a welcome development on the one hand, but have reservations that it will also have a negative impact on their businesses and their employees.
We must follow the instruction from the government because we are all under government. We will add money like AP government say. So the payment we will make to our staff, it will affect us because we are suffering. What I need in these positions, we need government interventions. There is most government intervention for private organizations like us because if we say we will continue fair salary at minimum wage, we are running at loss. So it's two things will be happen. Whether we close the business and go for other one, or we reduce our staff. So if we reduce our staff at this level, so there are many unemployment available in the country. So what do you think? That's why I say we must need a government intervention at this level.
According to World Bank, Nigeria's poverty rate rose from 50% in 2018 to 46% in 2023, with many people living below the poverty line due to the sluggish economic growth and rising inflation. Hassan Lawan Kohli, Trust TV News, Gombe.
In business, Bureau de Change operators have announced shutdown of operations in Abuja as a result of unavailability of dollars, the Daily Trust reports. This was announced by the association's chairman, Abdullahi Doran, on Wednesday. The Naira closed at an all-time low of 1,482 against the United States dollar on the official window on Tuesday, while on the parallel market, it remained stable at 450 naira, per dollar. Doran attributed the closure to online business transactions and cryptocurrency. He said the closure of business would take effect from Thursday, February 1, 2024. On the international scene, Israel has ignored the ruling by the United Nations top court last week by killing hundreds more civilians in a matter of days in Gaza, according to South Africa's foreign minister, while adding that South Africa has asked why an arrest warrant for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has not been issued in a case South Africa filed at the separate International Criminal Court. The preliminary ruling by the United Nations International Court of Justice in South Africa's case accusing Israel of genocide in Gaza ordered Israel to do all it can to prevent death, destruction, and any acts of genocide against Palestinians in the territory. It stopped short of ordering a ceasefire. It also ruled Israel must urgently get basic humanitarian aid to Gaza and submit a report on steps taken to abide by the ruling within a month.
I believe that the rulings of the court have been ignored by Israel. Hundreds of people have been killed in the last 3-4 days, and clearly Israel believes it has license to do as it wishes. So the world does have to reflect, because we're going to come to a point where we have to think, what do we do to stop such acts occurring, not just with Israel, but any party in the world. I asked him why he was able to issue an arrest warrant for Mr. Putin and is unable to do so for the Prime Minister of Israel. He couldn't answer and did not answer that question. But I read into some of what he said that the investigations are still underway, and until their conclusion, he cannot pronounce on this matter.
In sports, the napkin on which 13-year-old Lionel Messi's first Barcelona contract was signed is to be auctioned with a starting price of £300,000. The napkin, signed in December 2000, carries a commitment from then Barca director Charles Rexach to sign Messi. It was also signed by Josep Minguella, a transfer advisor to the Spanish club, and agent Horacio Gagioli, who recommended the Argentine. Messi joined Barca a month later and went on to be their record goal scorer. He made his debut aged 16 and scored 672 goals in 778 games for the Catalan club. Now 36, Messi won 10 La Liga and 4 Champions League titles at Barcelona before leaving for Paris Saint-Germain in 2021. The napkin was signed at a meeting arranged by Rexach, who invited Messi's father, Jorge, to lunch after concerns from the Messi family about a lack of response from Barcelona following the teenager's initial trial. Barcelona was instrumental in giving some of the most glorious moments of football to billions of fans around the globe. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for staying with me and for joining us.